everyone, and welcome back to Manifesting with the Moon. Stephanie Cartwright and I are here today, and we are doing like a special video on the autumnal equinox, which happens to be one of my favorite times of the year. How about you, Stephanie?
Yeah, me too. I like this time of year. I love this shift in the season. It just
Agreed.
feels like I can never decide if everything's getting at its ripest or whether or not everything's shutting down. But this is the almost the point, isn't it? We're at this point of balance and we're the tipping edge.
I could use some balance. I don't know about you, but this new moon slash eclipse season has been a little bit intense. I was like feeling it at the beginning, and then it kind of was like, oh, this is fine. I have this. And then these last couple of days, right before the new moon hit, I was like, whoa, what's going on here? So I'm ready for some balance back in my life a little bit.
Yeah. What's really interesting because obviously in the therapy sort of plane where I am, this eclipse season has really hit people. There are big shifts, especially in relationships. Arguments have bubbled out of nowhere. People who've had issues rumbling along, and then during this eclipse season, something's happened and it's gone, so it's really brought to heads. But this was what this eclipse season was about, because it was all about karmic change. Anything that was you weren't clearing out, this was your opportunity to clear it out, and it was giving you the events to make sure it happened. And it hasn't always been nice for some of the people on the receiving end. So, but hey, the change is happening. But yes, balance. I think there are a lot of people out there that would love that.
Yes, I know. I personally am very ready for a little bit of like calm down, even though I think actually we're just kind of really starting to gear up for this like holiday season, right? As
Hmm.
Samhain and Halloween are rolling up upon us. I mean, everywhere is decorated with fall
Yeah.
and Halloween stuff here. How about you? Yeah.
Yeah, everything like it's that shift where the leaves have started to come down. Here in the UK, the floor is covered in acorns or conkers. Oh, and I hear that these aren't called conkers with you, they're called buckeyes.
Oh yeah, Buckeyes.
Yeah. So this season here in the UK, so presumably around now also with you, the buckeyes are all falling and they come out of their beautiful velvety case. And to me, this is the start of this season. When I see these, this is the start.
Ah, Buckeyes are so cool. Those are
They
so
are
neat.
absolutely
We don't
gorgeous.
have those in our area. I know that
Do you
they're
not?
in the well, I know they're in Ohio, like
Uh-huh.
where my mom was raised and everything, but
Yeah.
not this far south. But those are so cool. I love that.
Yeah.
Maybe Stephanie will have to send me one someday.
I will, won't I? Let's do that.
Let's do it a little exchange. But for
Yeah.
today, we shall talk about the autumnal blah, the autumnal
The autumnal
equinox.
equinox.
Yes, which is historically about gratitude.
It is. Yeah. So I think this is, if you don't practice gratitude, this is really a great time to take the day at the equinox to really just get out in nature. I think is a really lovely grounding place and reflect. So it's reflecting on all of the building up in the sunshine, if you're in the northern hemisphere, before the releasing and the sort of like dying down of the winter. And so this is I'm really grateful for. I'm really just thinking about that. And I think this is a lovely practice to do. And on a day, it's that walking, literally, just as you walk, just going, I'm grateful for the rain, the sunshine, the people in my life, that and really just sort of like bring them to the front of your mind. Because very often it's the thing that we don't do. We're always looking for the next thing. We're not always giving that time to being grateful for either our achievements or just what's in our lives.
Yes, I agree. I think it feels so right now. And so
Hmm.
um yeah, definitely take a moment. over this next week or so and really sit in that. Do you have any specific practices that you do during this time of year, Steph?
During the solstice, I try doing all of the solstices and equinoxes, I try and walk. So for me, it's that whether or not it's walk to a high place or just walk in a landscape, but I try and walk and just really feel like I'm in touch and grounded with where the sun is, where the moon is, where the earth is, and just really feel part of it all. Because for me, that's where the balance is. And you can feel the shifting. So for me, go out and walk. And then I like to have a journal. So I always take a journal with me. And then I like to not just think about, as I'm walking, I think about all the things I'm grateful for, in particular on this particular equinox. And then when I sit at my point, whether or not it's a nice seat with a lovely view, or whether or not it's a high place on a rock, and then I write down some of the key things because anchoring them onto a piece of paper helps you really kind of be able to sit, make everything becomes more tangible. Thoughts don't always feel very physical, but words help thoughts turn into something physical.
I think that's lovely. Definitely gonna try to do that tomorrow too. Just go on a
So
walk.
what do you tend to do? Do you have any rituals around the equinox?
No, I have a really, I really need to make associations with things when I have these like big events in my life. And so recently I was reading up about this time and I was like, oh, gratitude. And one of the things that popped up to me was, I believe he's the Welsh god or Celtic god. He must be of like this season, this autumn season, Avalok. Have you ever heard of him?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so he is very much tied to Avalon, which is the Isle of Apple Trees. So I'm going to eat an apple.
Oh, that's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah. So
Uh,
it feels very, he seems like a very jolly, jaunty type of fellow who, is like in this orchard of apple trees, picking all of the beautiful fruit that's coming up. And yeah, that's what I always associate with fall is apple picking, I guess, even though I don't
yeah,
go apple
apple
picking.
picking. Yeah, apple picking,
Yeah.
cider making. So that's a
Yes.
big thing here is, around all of the vales, all of the sort of like in Somerset and where they do all the apple growing. It's all about cider making. And we have cider apple trees as well as the cooking as well as the eating. And but all of the apples can be used for cider.
I love that.
So,
I love it. There's
mm,
something so cozy about this time of year, right? Like it's got that nice crisp weather up here in the northern hemisphere and things are starting to turn and you're like, "Oh, I just want to hold on to these last couple of days before the balance shifts a little bit."
yeah. So, and I think apples are a really great symbol of that growth, that sunshine. So, like we not only have we reached the height, but we've reached the fullness. So we've got the height, but then it's matured. So a bit like the apple. So the apple grows. So we've done all the growing, but now it's ripe. So this is where the equinox is all about not making, don't keep trying to hang on to something and making something bigger and bigger and bigger. It's about this is perfect. It's about picking and enjoying. And this is the, like you say, the gratitude. It's just like, yeah, we've done all of that. We've achieved all of these amazing things. This is also good.
Yes, you have survived this eclipse season, which has been so intense. Be
Yeah.
grateful that you have made it through on the other side, right?
Yeah. And even though it's really hard, sometimes it's being grateful for the lessons. And even if you can't find that I'm not great, you're in the depths of your heart, you're thinking, I'm really not grateful for this argument, for this disagreement, for this situation. Somehow come to that I may not realize it yet, but my higher self knows that this is part of my growth cycle. So I've outgrown something, and that's what this friction has caused. It's the shedding, it's the breaking away. So it's almost even if it's like I will allow myself to be grateful for the lessons, even if I don't know what I'm learning yet.
Oh, I think that's such a great point to make is like this is a great time to be grateful and detach from everything that you might be holding on to with this last harvest season. You know, maybe try to untangle it a little bit and, settle into it a little bit as we go into these longer nights, well, longer nights up here in the Northern Hemisphere.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It'll be lovely. I think, we're also coming into what I like to think of as we go into more the winter season and less light, even more less light. Now we're on the brink, is, we're coming into that period of rest and thinking about what we want to grow and put roots and seeds and all of these sorts of things. So this is also after that gratitude, it's like allowing that acceptance in as well, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And, make sure to rest. That's not something that enough people do, I don't think. And as
No.
you're moving into the season, and if you're feeling a little out of sorts after all of these big energies that we've had in the last couple of months, then rest.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely. Allow yourself, listen to yourself.
Absolutely. Well, I am so glad that you hopped on with me today, Stephanie, to talk about this. We don't usually get to talk about the equinoxes just because they're at some times strange times for us, but we happen to be able to get on today. Any parting words for anyone?
I think just enjoy this sort of like you're right on the cusp and it's a lovely balance point and enjoy and just get outside if you can.
Absolutely. Get outside before it gets a little bit too uh, high temperatures in either direction, right? Either
Yeah.
too hot or too cold for you. It's a perfect time of year.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, we will catch you guys next time. And yeah, we'll see you later.
Bye.